Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. Let's get started. Okay, well, let me show you the card in here so it's right side up. I'm actually casing my own card. This is a card that I did a couple years ago with a Celebration stamp set. And so I figured I'd case it today. This is what I came up with. So I'm going to be using the new Tasteful Touches, which is coming out in the new annual catalog in a couple of days now. I'm using this stamp here. I'm going to be using this stamp here. I tried using this sentiment, but I didn't like it. It wasn't bold enough. Okay, so I got a sentiment from Rooted in Nature. I'm going to use this one here. You need a chamois or something to clean your stamps with. I'm going to be using Rococo Rose, Smoky Slate, Memento Tuxedo Black. I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of Rococo Rose, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I need to score it still. And I have 2 strips of Designer Series paper. Comes in the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. It's the paper that coordinates with the stamp set. It's these 2. Okay, the Designer Series paper. This strip is 1 inch, and this strip is 1/2 inch. Then I've got some threads from the flax ribbon. I think it's retiring, but I needed a ribbon to go with it, so that's what I'm using. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is do my stamping. I need a scratch paper. Alright, so I'm going to bring in this rose, or this flower. I'm not sure if it's a rose or what it is, but I'm going to use the Rococo Rose ink pad. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that down here, about here I guess. So it's like almost in the middle, but over to the right side. Okay, and I need to wash that. And I'm going to bring in Smoky Slate. I'm going to stamp it once over here. I'm going to turn the stamp a little bit so it's got a little bit of different orientation. Stamp one over here. Stamp one down here. A little bit of one down here at the bottom here. And a little bit of one over here. Okay. Done with that. And I'm going to bring in this little texture one. I'm going to stamp in the Rococo Rose. I'm going to stamp off twice. Then I'm going to stamp repeatedly in the background. Stamp off twice. I just want a light texture in the background. I don't want a lot. I think that's good. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to bring in, I'm done with the gray, so let's close that and get it out of the way. Bring in the Memento ink and the sentiment Thinking of You. Make sure it's good and inked. And I'm going to make sure it's right set up first of all. And I'm going to stamp that right here. This is one of the old stamps before they were the cling. Okay, now I'm going to bring in these sentiments from Rooted in Nature. I've actually cut them apart so there'll be 3 different strips instead of them being all together. I mounted these 2 on one. I'm going to ink that up with the Rococo Rose. I'm going to stamp them up here. And then I'm going to take the other piece, stamp it over here. Okay, that's all the stamping. Now we can put this card together. Okay, let's bring in our card base. Bring in a scoring tool. Score it at 4 1/4. Turn it over. Line up those corners. And crease it. This out of the way so I don't need it there. Yeah, lovely. Okay. Now I'm going to glue this piece right here. It's a little bit longer than it needs to be, but it makes it easier to trim it, and it doesn't hang off. Okay, then this piece is going to go, leaving a little bit on either side of it. Excuse the noise. My husband's just got home. Okay, I'm going to turn that over and snip that off. Okay, then I'm going to bring in 3 of those strands of the threads from the ribbon. I'll line it up on the edge of this black one. I want them to be next to each other. Turn it over. I've got some tape here, just plain old household tape. Take them down. Okay, then I've got 3 other strands. I'm going to tuck it underneath. And that's down here towards this bottom. You could put it anywhere you wanted. I'm going to tie a bow. Trim those ends. Mount this to the Rococo Rose piece. It's going to get centered. Okay, and then this is going to get mounted to our card base. It's the same size as the front of the card. I could have just done a Rococo Rose card base, but I like the heaviness of the heavy paper for my card base. There you go. There's our card we just made. Here's one I did previous. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.